guest very shortly on my channel. So hopefully she will pop in shortly. Um, there she is. Hopefully it'll work. Waiting for guests. There you are. Hi.
Hello. Hello. It only let me join on my phone.
Sound is good.
I was trying to do it from my computer. So. Hello. Go on quiet. I can't see your screen anymore. Oh, there we go. Hi, B. You saying hello?
Hopefully we're Bye.
She's fine.
So, welcome to Wednesday night readings, friends. If you don't know who Sam is, she is Sam over at the Book Bunch. I will actually link her down below.
Jumping. A nice jumping. Yes. A nice jumping. I am. Cool.
And hopefully both of our connections will work, because I don't know why I was having a little bit of a problem, but that's okay.
I'm sure it'll sort itself out.
So leave a comment, let me know who's here. I see 12 of you are here today. That's awesome. And I will put Sam's link down below so you can check it out. Let us know what you're reading. Sam,
Yes,
what are you
I'm really
reading
excited to
today?
see what I'm reading Ready Player One, because I've watched the movie, but I haven't actually read the book, and everyone says the book is really good. So I thought I'd give it a go.
I DNF'd that.
Did you?
Yeah. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, you didn't like the book?
No. I can't
Interesting.
remember. I can't remember if it had too much language in it or something I didn't like about it. I can't remember.
Oh yeah. I don't know the content like warning wise on it, so I'll give it a go. I'll see if I like it or not. I can normally handle like swearing because I've kind of learnt to just skip over it, but we'll see. Depends on how bad it gets.
Nice. Everybody's popping in. Hi, Elma, Allie. Hi, Beth. Hi, Jane. Hi, Christine. Oh, I'm doing hi, Jane again, but second comment. So, Christine is reading Finding Alice by Melody Carlson. Nice. I love Melody Carlson, but I haven't read that one yet. And then Jane is reading The Crushing Depths by Danny Petrie. Nice. So, I have two here that I'm deciding between. I haven't started either one yet. Hey, Tawanda.
Oh.
I'm either going to read The All American, which is a baseball story set in summer, and then, or Authentically Izzy, which is told in stories and texts, and they're both romance. So, well, no, this one's more contemporary sports. So I don't think there's there might be
I
romance,
haven't heard
but
of the
there's a bunch of romance.
I haven't heard of the All American, but everyone I know that's read Authentically Izzy's really liked it.
Yeah, yeah, I haven't read it yet, so. I don't know. And this one doesn't come out till July, so.
You got a little bit of
But
time then.
I've been waiting for this since like December.
Well, then you should probably read that one then if you're most excited about it.
Yeah, I think I'll read this one. Beth is reading The Wilder Woman by Ruth Emmy Lang. I read another book by Ruth. I can't remember what it was called though. It was like something about, it was like kind of like about this strange kid who like could control weather or something. It was pretty good. I remember liking it.
I haven't heard of any of the books that you guys have put in the chat. But I don't read romance and contemporary very much, so that's probably why. Or even
Heidi
historical
Seven.
fantasy, I very rarely read that.
Hmm.
That
Yeah, a lot of people on my channel really enjoy either romantic suspense or historical fiction or romance. Although I read everything.
yeah, which is it's all right. I will occasionally dabble in other genres, but I'm mostly my four main ones are sci-fi, fantasy, classics, and non-fiction. I'd probably say. Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, I think that'd be right. And middle grade. You like middle grade a lot
Oh,
too.
and middle grade. But I kind of consider middle grade as
Yeah,
just an age group rather than a
yeah, an age
genre.
group. Yeah, yeah,
And then like I don't really have like, oh, I won't read a certain age group. It
yeah.
just purely depends on the genre. But some people
Yeah,
consider
I
middle
don't
grade.
know what my top would be. Probably historical fiction. Um, Historical fiction. I do really enjoy fantasy, like not like adult fantasy. I am more like middle grade and YA fantasy, um, or Christian fantasy, and then probably really probably any. I do enjoy romance as long as it's clean. So any yeah, sci-fi too, but like it's hard to find sci-fi that I enjoy. I
Yeah,
do
it's
like
hard to find
sci-fi.
sci-fi that is good and that is clean because a
Hmm.
lot of sci-fi is really not clean.
Yeah,
So trying to find good sci-fi because that's my favorite genre, but trying to find books that are actually good that aren't clean is really difficult.
yeah. There's a robot series. I wonder if you like. I don't remember the author though. My dad introduced me to him. I'll probably find it later at some point, but I did enjoy it. It was like about this robot community that like was like they were like maids or butlers in the house and stuff, and like something goes wrong where like they start to take over or something. It was really good. I think it's by a Christian author, if I'm not mistaken. It's an older
I
book.
I know there's like Martha Wells, she's got a series about
No, it's not that.
robots, like lots of really short ones. They're like 200 pages each, I think, or something. But there's like heaps of them, and I know a lot of people who read sci-fi really like those. I don't know if like the author is like a Christian, but she's like they write clean. So I've been wanting to check that out, but I just have not got there yet. That's all right.
I'm switching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like this one's gonna be more funny than the other one, so I think I'm gonna go with
Is it?
today.
It's probably all the hype in the chat too.
Yeah.
Some people who are undecided about what they're going to read tonight. I I definitely go through phases because I'm a huge mood reader, so it depends on what I'm feeling like. Even though I do try to stick to a genre as much as I can, just for like video consistency's sake. How about yeah, and I definitely have times where I'm just like, there's just nothing that I want to pick up, and you kind of have to force yourself to just pick something. Yes, I have read Synapse. It was all right. Celestia's read it too, and we've both done reviews on it, and we both kind of came to the same conclusion that it was just all right. It was about 3.5 out of 5. Because it's more of a detective story than a robot story, and I don't know, it just wasn't super gripping. Like I finished it, but I wasn't like, oh, I need to turn the page. Like it wasn't for a detective story. It wasn't like thrillery or anything. So it was a little bit of a letdown in that way, but still worth it if you've got it. Like I'd still read it and then decide if you want to get rid of it. But yeah, it doesn't have the hype. I don't think you've read that one, have you, Katie?
No, I haven't. But check out the new shirt.
Oh, that's so cute. Super cute.
I got it in a giveaway. I'm like, yes, another book shirt. I only have like one.
It could work as a Christmas shirt too.
Yeah, I've got the cute little gnome all dressed up in winter outfits. So might be seeing
Yeah,
this in Christmas videos.
yeah, it's cool. I don't have any. mm, I lie. I've got two bookish shirts. I forgot that I had them. Because I got them from Redbubble, and there's one that says it just says Scud, which is like a swear, but like not a bad swear. It's like saying heck.
Hmm.
In what's it called? Skyward, the Brandon Sanderson
Oh,
series.
okay.
And I had one that had it had like the characters from the Night Circus on it. And I got those like 2 years ago, but I just haven't worn them because I don't know, I don't like them that much. I thought they would be nicer than they are, but they're like big man shirts, and so they don't sit right on me, and so it just looks weird. So I don't really wear them. They're more like if I cannot find any clean pajamas, I will
Yeah.
wear one. But yeah, I do need to get more book shirts though. But I mean, finding stuff like that here is not easy. Like and I found a couple of really nice like retro 50s dresses, and the patterns are like bookish, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I really want it, but it's like they're like over $100 each plus shipping,
Okay.
and I'm like,
That's expensive.
I cannot afford that. Like, there's nothing that is really nice, but in a reasonable budget for me. And so
Yeah.
I don't have much like bookish, like even decor or anything like that. I don't really have anything like that. Like, I don't even have a set of bookends. Like, I've just got nothing, um, which I feel is slack. And maybe I should request things like that for my birthday, but I just never think of it when it comes to the time.
Hey, Celestia. Celestia's here. Happy to see you.
My chat is refusing to stay up, so I have to keep clicking on it every now and again.
That's why I steal my mom's phone because mine just shows up and then disappears. So I need somewhere to look.
Well, that's why I'd hoped to do it on my laptop, but it kept coming up with an error every time I tried opening it on there, and I was like, I'm running out of time. I just need to open it on. Being distracted this morning.
Okay, so did you want to do 20-minute reading sprints? Since I know you like a little bit shorter, so we can do 20-minute reading sprints if you want.
It's up to you. I'm happy to do your half an hour if you like doing your half an hour. It's your hosting, so we can do whatever you
Uh,
like.
well, if I don't do half hours, people might get confused and not show up. So we'll stick with half hour.
That's fair enough. We can do half an hour. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'd
So
already mentally prepared. I was like, they're going to be long reading sprints. It's okay.
you'll survive. It's fine. All right. So we can chat for a few more minutes, and then we'll probably start at like 15 after, so we can have an even half hour.
I only really struggle with the long reading sprints if I'm not super into the book at the time, because then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it was like 10 more
Yeah.
minutes. But I mean, if I get partway through this and I'm hating it, I'll just pick up another one. I've got some others nearby. I've got Cinder, which I keep meaning to read because I finally have a copy of it. Because like for the last year and a half, everyone's like, you need to read Cinder, you need to read Cinder, and I haven't been able to track down a copy that was like not $1,000, and I managed to find a copy, like almost pristine copy, in the secondhand bookshop the other day, and I was like, well, I am getting that. It was like $6.
You're gonna like it.
Yeah, I'm super excited because it looks really good. And I want to get the box set eventually. Well, like, I'll obviously just make sure I like the first book first.
Yeah.
But my goal is to get the book set eventually if I like it. And I've been keeping an eye on it for the last year on Amazon to see if it will come down because it's currently at $85 for the set. And I'm like, oh, that's a bit steep. But I haven't seen any sales. So it might just be that it's always just going to be that price and I just have to accept it. But that's okay. I can do that.
Okay, so it's 15 after. Let's go ahead and do a half-hour reading sprint until 45 after, whatever time that is for all of you, and we'll be back to chat a little bit. So we're gonna mute ourselves so you can have quiet time for half hour. So we'll see you back in half an hour. Have fun reading.
Have fun.
everyone. It is reading sprints are done. Trying to get Sam's attention.
I'm back. Sorry. How'd you go?
I did good. I read more than I thought I would because I went to places, but I read about 22 pages. So I read the first chapter.
Oh, nice. That's good. I probably read less than that. Yeah, I read 18? No, 19 pages? Can you stop playing with that? Thank you. Sorry, I got toddler. I got toddler on the loose.
So how are you liking Ready Player One so far?
It's not bad. There's only been one bit of profanity, and the only thing like content wise that like I don't obviously agree with is it's set in a world where like it's as if evolution was true and like global warming and all of that kind of stuff. So there's no God and there's no heaven, and it's like depressing. But it is like dystopian, so like it doesn't bother me that much because I know it's not real. But yeah, it's very much so like the movie so far. So I'm interested to see what happens. What about yours? What happened in yours?
And Elma read a chapter and a half. I'm really liking it. You know what? So far, I think you would even enjoy it. There's a ton of references to Lord of the Rings in like just the first chapter.
That's cool.
So
because what's it about? Is it about?
Well, it's kind of depressing because she's 30 and I'm 30, but she's been single pretty much her whole life, and her cousin puts her on a dating site without her knowing. And so she puts a picture of Minnie Mouse as her profile picture. So she tells her, if you have to go change it and change your profile because I put a picture of Minnie Mouse. So she decides to change it to a picture of Eowyn from Lord of the Rings. And so she's communicating with this other guy who's calling himself Brody the Hobbit. So
sounds like something Celestial would like. A Lord of the Rings romance.
And this one part I just thought was so funny. She's being set up with like this audiologist. I don't even know what that is. But her cousin says when I saw a picture of him, he had a nice nose. I'm like, who says he has a nice nose?
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Like, is that the only thing nice about him? Like, he has a nice nose. Okay.
Wow, Jane read 32 pages. That is very fast. That's pretty good.
Wow, Jane, way to
was
go.
that like actually reading or was that like audio reading? Because I feel like you can listen faster than you can read.
Yeah, I read and listen almost the same speed because I double the speed of my audio, and like I usually read about 25 pages every half hour. So I feel like audio might be a little bit more, but not much.
Okay. I haven't dabbled in audio pretty much at all, so I have no idea what my audio would be. Wow, that's impressive. Physical read 32. That's very fast reading. That's a skill.
I don't know if I read faster or slower when I enjoy a book. I think I read faster.
Go play with your toy stuff. Toddler is in that phase where like she just has to be around me all the time. So even though in the next room where she could still see me, there's all these toys and fun things for her. The TV's on. She's got everything she could ever want. She's like, no, Mum, I'm gonna bother you.
You're gonna miss this phase.
Welcome, Ashley.
Hey, Ashley. So happy
Glad
to
you
hear.
could join
Are
us.
you reading or just hanging out?
I noticed you got a snack. What are you eating? Because I need to go get something to eat because I haven't even had breakfast yet.
I'm having having white cheddar popcorn. My favorite go-to snack.
Is that like, what's the difference between cheddar and white cheddar?
I don't like, it's like orange cheddar. I don't like it, honestly. I never liked Cheetos. If you know what Cheetos are, I never liked Cheetos.
Okay.
So I don't know, white cheddar just tastes better. I don't know. It's almost like kind of has like a Parmesan taste to it versus like that
Oh.
kind of like Cheeto taste. So
Okay.
I like it. It's good.
You guys have way more cheese options than we have here.
We got a lot
Like
of cheese.
we've got mozzarella, tasty cheese, which is just like cheese. Cheddar, parmesan, brie and camembert, and like that's like it, really. And like if you go to like a fancy place, you can sometimes get like blue cheese or like some kind of smoked cheese, but like we don't have any of the different cheeses that you guys have. Like, what is it? Pepper jack or something? I don't know. You guys have
Pepper
lots
jack,
of them.
mild
I'm
and
always
sharp cheddar and white cheddar.
because we like I love cheese. I can't have it anymore, which makes me real sad. But I really like cheese, and I had always been like, oh, I want to go to America and have like a mac and cheese that an American has made me. Because I don't like mac and cheese. I love pasta. I love cheese, but the cheese here does not go with like the pasta. If you like follow the instructions to make mac and cheese, it just doesn't taste right. And so I'm always like, oh, they always use different cheeses in America, and I want to know if it tastes really different because I feel like mac and cheese needs to taste slightly artificial, whereas we don't have that kind of stuff here.
Yeah, I used to eat a lot of mac and cheese, and I shouldn't have cheese, but cheddar popcorn is like the only thing that I kind of like. I just have that. I do have cheeseburgers every once in a while, but other than that, we don't buy cheese in the house. We rarely have spaghetti. I'll have a little bit of Parmesan, but other than that, I'm usually trying to stay away from cheese because I love it too.
Yeah.
My favorite. It's a special treat, but it's homemade macaroni and cheese. It's with Gouda, and it is the best thing you will ever have in your life.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at my favorite restaurant. I'll be going back there again for my birthday next month, but it is so good.
Yeah, I definitely think if I went to America, it would be like a foodie trip, and I just try all the different weird things that you guys have invented.
I gotta catch up on
Chat.
comments. So
On
Allie
up.
is playing video games. Nice. What are you playing? Anything fun? I haven't played video games in a long time. Hey Reese, I'm happy you're here. Aliana, you're reading My First Love, My Last.
Also, the kid in the background is my kid. Her name is Willow. She is 2.
Oh my goodness.
Being a menace to society, which is fine.
I just realized I forgot your kid's name, and so when you said, "Is it okay if Willow is in the video?" I thought it was like a subscriber or something. Oh my brain.
I know. When I read your message, I was
My
like,
brain.
she's not picked up that I'm talking about my toddler. And I did reply, and I was like, I'm talking about my toddler. It's okay.
I'm like, I don't know who Willow is, and then like, oh yeah, when you said that, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot.
That's okay.
And I'm like, here, send her a link.
I mean, she's very tech savvy, so I honestly wouldn't be surprised if she worked out how to open it and join us.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need a separate stream for her.
It's a video of her forehead or upper nose or something.
Yeah. Because she like holds it down here, and then you can only see like a small portion of her face because she doesn't realize you have to hold it up like this. It's funny. Well, your book does sound interesting as far as romance goes so far. So you'll have to keep reading it and tell me how it goes to see if it will win me over. Because I'm not against it. I just haven't found any romances that sound like something I would actually like. But I mean, if it's bookish or like fantasy, it's got fantasy. I do like comedy too. So like, I don't think I would like just straight up romance, but like if it's a rom-com, I'm more likely to give it a chance.
You might
Because I
like
very
Dear,
occasionally watch a rom-com movie and I quite enjoy those.
you would like Dear Henry, Love Edith. That one's like laugh out loud funny.
Oh yeah, was it your review that I saw? I saw someone review it the other day and I was like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Because it's like about the letters and they're in the same house but they don't know that they're both young and single or whatever. That does sound kind of funny. Might have to get a couple of rom-coms together and read them. You'll have to send me recommendations.
Okay. You can do like a fantasy lover tries romance books.
Yeah. Because I did read Redeeming Love because everyone was talking about that and I did enjoy that. That made me weep so hard. But that was much more serious than like other romances. And so I wouldn't mind trying the opposite end of the scale and try an actual funny one. Because I do like funny books. I think that's why I like Wing Feather Saga so much, because it's quite funny.
Yeah, that's a good series. So you might really like historical romance, because a lot of historical romance has more of that like deeper meaning, deeper story. There's some really good ones. Like you might like Tracy Peterson because she like has like usually a really good faith message, and she has usually like a pretty heartbreaking backstory for the main character or side character. So her books are really good.
Nice. Got to have that trauma.
Yeah.
That's funny. I think I'm just worried that if I read romance, it'll be cringy, and I don't like cringe. I'm really against the cringe, and I think that's why I don't normally like it. But if you tell me it's not cringy, I'll give it a go. I've got to read Stay With Me by Becky Wade because Amanda convinced me to buy that. So I've got that, but I haven't read it yet.
I haven't
So I
read
wanted
it yet.
to know
Maybe
all
we
this
should
Becky
buddy
Wade.
read.
We could. That would be fun. Because yeah, I'm a bit intimidated by it. But yeah, I've got a physical copy because I was able to get it at my Christian bookshop, and I've had it for a while, but I haven't reached for it because every time I look at it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to tackle this by myself. But a buddy read would probably make me more interested.
Yeah, I'll buddy read it with you because I have not read a Becky Wade yet. So.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to know what the hype was about because, like, we all know that Amanda will like preach to the choir about Becky Wade, and I just really need to know. Also, thank you for the compliments on my daughter. She's 2. She's very chatty and very active and very happy to boss me around. Yeah, I can put her on. Willow, do you want to come say hello? Yeah. She's got food all over her face. But...
Hi. Very pretty. Do you have flowers on your shirt?
They're like little puffy dots.
Oh.
It's like
I saw a flower up here on her shoulder.
pattern. They kind of look like petals, but they're like all bunchy. So I could see how they would look like flowers on the camera. But yeah, it's like sections where there's like a bunch of puffy dots.
Yeah.
We because it was her birthday a couple of weeks ago, and it just became winter here in Australia, and because she's finally grown, I didn't have anything that was her new size for winter, so I asked everyone to get her winter clothes, and pretty much everybody bought her a jumper, and so now she's got like 20 jumpers. And so she's just been wearing singlets and jumpers because I don't have any shirts yet. Yeah, you're wearing a jumper.
I really want. I know the body. You put in the body.
She knows we're talking about it now.
You put your arm in. Put in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to steal the camera.
What's up?
If you want to stay in the camera, you can stay in the camera. Okay. Also, she's probably going to be a reader because she's already got a very large book collection and is happy to read them too. Especially like because she's already learnt how to read her letters, and so she's been enjoying picking out all of the letters that she knows out of the books.
Oh, she's doing great.
I'm hoping that I will have a reading companion because my husband doesn't read at all. When are we doing the next sprint?
We can start one now if you want.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
go
happy to.
until 30 after, so.
Cool.
Okay, so have fun reading, everyone, and I'll see you all back in half an hour. Well, close to it. Close enough. 30 after. everyone. It is 9:30. End of reading sprints.
I keep needing to unmute my microphone. I keep forgetting. I just started chapter 3, not including there was like a prologue thing.
I'm in the middle of some chapter. Chapter 3, too.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Are you enjoying yours?
I am actually. There is some cute, funny parts in here. Like the girl who was texting to this guy, Brody, she thought it was her cousin, messing around with her. So she wrote this entire 2-page letter, like, here's my heart out to you. I know it's you, Josie. And so she calls him Josie at the end, and she ended up realizing that she doesn't think it's her cousin.
Oh.
And so she goes, I don't think Brody is Josie. I'm going to go prick my finger on the needle of a spinning wheel and sleep through this disaster for 100 years. Poor thing.
I'm assuming Brody is going to be the love interest then.
Probably.
That makes sense. I'm enjoying this as I did the movie, but I don't know if I just don't remember it from the movie, but I feel like the author is a little bit political about things, which isn't overly bothering me, but it's just there,
Yeah.
Celestria's on chapter 2 of The Story Peddler. Are you enjoying it? I really like The Story Peddler.
Familiar. Yeah, is that by somebody Franklin? It sounds familiar.
I can't remember. But I've read the first 2, which is The Story Peddler and The Story Radar, I want to say. And then there's one other, there's a third book, but I haven't managed to get a copy of that yet, but I need to.
Yeah. Lindsay A. Franklin. I knew that sounded familiar too.
Yeah.
It's
quite good.
Book, and I still need to continue the series. My mom just said my brain is amazing. Remembering who wrote it.
I can't remember anything. I am like the total opposite. Like even not book related things, can't remember author names. Half the time I can't remember the title. I can't remember main characters' names, even if I've just read it. And it extends to all things. Like I can't remember the name of people who wrote songs and what the song was called. I could sing you some of the lyrics, but I would not be able to tell you who wrote it. And same with movie stars. I know their faces more than their names. I just have no memory for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, author names I'm pretty good with. But yeah, character names too. I can't remember anything after I've read it unless it's either really unique or it's somebody that I know that I'm close to. That I'm like, oh, that character has the same name as somebody I know.
Yeah, I'm really bad with all that stuff. My husband's really good with that kind of thing. He can remember movie names and directors and actors' names and song lyrics and titles and all of that. And I'm like, I don't know. It's that thing about that thing, you know?
Yeah, I'm good with movies and songs more than books, I feel like. Because, I'll be, watching a movie. I'm like, oh, I know that actor. It could be, a minor character. He only flashes on the screen. I'd be like, I know, I've seen it before. And I'll look it up and I'll be like, yeah, he was in this movie.
Yeah, I recognize the faces, but I couldn't necessarily tell you what their name is or where I saw them from. But yeah, I'm really bad with books, especially you'd think we'd remember these things because we like books so much, but it just doesn't happen. Even some of my favorite books, I might remember the author's name maybe, but I could not tell you the character names.
Yeah, I do that a lot too.
The next day, I will not remember. No matter how much I enjoyed the book, I will not remember what the characters' names are.
Yeah. like books like this are easy. Like I know, hey, her name's Izzy.
Yeah.
It says it on the cover.
It took me a second to remember his name. His name's Wade. And for a second, I was like, crap, I've already forgotten his name. And then I was like, wait, no, it's Wade. No, like I just read it. It's funny what goes in and out of our brains. I can remember the plot, like I could tell you what happens, but I couldn't necessarily tell you the people's names, which makes it really hard for reviews because I'll be sitting there being like, what the heck is this person's name? And I'll have to look it up.
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that. I'm like, usually like I'll just like write, oh, the main character was really great, or she was really great.
Yeah.
And then
Or the love interest
to,
or the
yeah, the love
like
interest,
just
yeah.
kind of them by their character type. Yeah. I'm always impressed when people can remember that kind of stuff, like where they have that brain capacity, because I just don't have it at all.
Yeah. Well, we read so many books too, so it's like once we're done with one, we usually go to the next one. So it's like in one year out the other.
Yeah, that's true. How's everyone else's books going? There were a few people who had said they were reading with us.
I could have forgot we're ending at 30.
Like Beth, she read 19 pages. What book are you reading, Beth? I don't know if I saw that before.
My poor chat keeps going in and out. I have to like re-upload it. It's like, stop it.
Yeah, I have to keep clicking on it every now and again because it just goes away. Have you got plans for your birthday next month?
It is July 23rd.
Have you got plans for it?
Going to my favorite restaurant. That's about it. Sometimes we go to the Corning Museum of Glass because we're not that far away from it. That's always fun.
Also, I'm pretty sure you've got the same birthday as my brother-in-law because I think his is July 23rd. It's July 20 something. I should probably know that because I live with him, but I really don't.
Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, I just rely on my husband or Facebook to tell me that it's someone's birthday because I'm not good with that. If it's not, like, if I haven't put it in my calendar or I get a Facebook notification, I'm just not going to know. Like, I can't remember. Even if you're my best friend, I just
I
no
know I have
idea.
a hard time too. The only reason I remember one of my friend's birthdays is because she was born on Friday the 13th. So that's the only reason that I know that her birthday is September 13th. That's it.
I know my immediate family.
Yeah, I know my mom and dad.
And like my husband and my daughter. And I know a couple of my friends' birthdays, but only because they share the same birthdays as people in my immediate family, and so I can remember those. But everyone else, like my husband's family, my friends, I'm like, Sosbros, no idea. I could not tell you. I always just forget. It's terrible.
Christine is on page 61. She says it's really good. It's about a mental illness, hard to read but good. And Jane said she's really enjoying her book and she's invested in the characters' relationships. Nice. I know you love your character.
What were you reading again, Christine? I don't remember what you said before.
Finding Alice by Melody Carlson. I had to scroll back.
Is that like Finding Alice is in like Alice in Wonderland? Because they say that she's meant to be like Isn't that what they say? That like Alice in Wonderland is actually meant to be like she didn't actually fall into a world, she just like hallucinated or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool.
still have not read Alice in Wonderland, and I have a copy. My dad got it for me for my 25th birthday, and I still haven't read it.
Yeah, I've never read it, but I love the movies. I love the Tim Burton movies. It's definitely something, and I love adaptations. Like the one, there's like a Once Upon a Time in Wonderland or something. I really liked that adaptation. Also, yes, Anne of Green Gables is the best, Alicia. I hope you are enjoying every moment of that. I still, after reading the whole box set, I still think that the first book is the best because it's just so Anne. But I like Walden. I mean, very possibly the author was on drugs. I feel like there's a lot of books where the author has been on drugs while they've been writing the books. Like Stephen King, apparently, like most of his books, he's been on drugs while writing them. There's other famous people that have come out and been like, yeah, I was on drugs this whole time. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised. Also, like, isn't Alice in Wonderland super old? Like, how old are drugs?
I don't know. Drugs have been around for a really long time.
Well, I guess like they wouldn't be the same kind of drugs, like you, because people still had like mushrooms and stuff. I don't know. I don't know much about drugs. I'm not the right person to ask. Yeah, it does make sense that it's a bit weird. I agree. I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Alicia. Is this your like? Is this a reread for you or your first time?
I think I started Anne at one point. I don't remember if I read it.
Yeah, it's super sad that people feel they need to do that for content or for their job or I don't know to get enjoyment out of it. I don't know. I don't know why they do it. I don't know. Maybe they think it stimulates their ideas better. But it's kind of sad. Yeah. I did that recently, Alicia, as well. I reread it because I had read it as a kid with my mum, and then hadn't read anything about it for ages. I just remember it being amazing, so I reread it and I loved it so much more. And it was exactly how I remember. And it's exactly like the 80s movies. That first movie is exactly the same. The other movies are not, but that first one is exactly the same. Do you agree with that, Katie? You're laughing.
I love the old movies.
I love the 80s ones, even though the like movie 2 and 3 aren't accurate to the books. I still love them as a like adaptation.
Yeah, I wanted to name my future son Dominic growing up after that third movie.
I want to name my kid Gilbert. Christine, you've got to read Anne. It's so good. It's so beautiful. Well, you only should read it if you like uh books of that vein, like Little House on the Prairie and Little Women and all of that. Like you have to like, I don't know, everyday living kind of books because that's what it is, isn't it? Like slice of life kind of thing, but it's like old timey slice of life.
Yes, Christine, 80s isn't that old. I meant to say original because no, 80s is not that old.
I mean,
90s, so
it's like 40 years ago now. That kind of is a little bit old.
I know they're like coming out with like historical fiction that's like set in the 80s. I'm like, I'm only like a few years after that. I'm gonna start calling me old.
Like I have friends who are born in the 80s, like they're born like 88, 89, that kind of thing. And it always takes me back a second. I'm like, wait, you're born in the 80s? Like that's so long ago, but it's really not at the same time. the most I know about the 80s is from the Bluey episode where the dad is telling them about what the 80s was like. Have you guys seen that? Dude, the 90s is considered historical now, Celestia.
Oh yeah, wasn't there like they came out with like American Dolls that were like set in the 90s or something? And I'm like,
Yeah, we're considered vintage because we're over 20 years.
I'm like,
And I'm like,
yes.
I'm not that old. Yeah, it's so crazy how like I feel like 10 years ago no one felt like they were being crept up on like age-wise, and now it's like in the last 5-10 years it's like everyone's like, oh my goodness, I'm old, like, and it's hit everybody really quickly. Yeah, there's like heaps of Instagram reels of people of like people younger than even me because I'm only 24. I'm 25 this year. Which I don't like being associated with Gen Z. I feel like that is an insult. But anyway, they will be like they'll be like the 18-year-olds nowadays, and they'll be like, oh, like I'm wearing these like really old vintage clothes, and it'll be like a crop top or something from like the 90s, and like all these like people who are like in their 30s are like reacting to it and be like, oh, like, it's funny. 54 is not that old, Christine.
Yeah. You know what? I tease my family because their old age grows as I do. So when I was 10, I'd say you're going to be old when you're, I think I said 30 or not 30, 40. So you're going to be old when you're 40. But when I hit like 15, then the age gap would grow up. Oh, you're going to be old when you're 50. So every
Yeah.
time I get
Well,
older, their old age goes up too.
well, yeah, like to me now, I'm like, you're not old till you're like 70.
Yeah.
Because like all our parents are like 50 and 60,
Yeah.
and like they don't feel old. So like I'm like, okay, like 70 or 80 is old. Anyone under that, you're a spring chicken.
I don't even know what generation I am. I'm like,
I think you're a
like,
millennial.
like on the edge.
Well, like I'm considered the like top end of Gen Z because Gen Z apparently starts at 96 or 97, and I was a 98 baby. But I also feel insulted by that because like I didn't grow up with technology. Like I had an old box TV, and like I didn't have a cell phone until I was 16. I didn't have an iPad till I was like 17. Like I like handwrite letters and like have used checks and all of that kind of stuff. Like I'm not that old. Like I had CD players and DVDs, and like we had VHS. Like I'm not like the Gen Z that everyone talks about now that's all like, I don't know,
Yeah, I had a
insufferable.
box TV till 2 years ago.
Yeah. I think mum and dad would have kept it for a lot longer if they hadn't moved,
Mine
but they
too.
moved and they were like, it's just too much to
My
take
dad
with.
would have kept it. Like, I think ours was like pretty much dying because it was like the picture would fade and get really dark. And then it would be okay for like a couple months. I'm like, Dad, time to get rid of
Yeah.
it. Stop holding on to it.
I'm missing some of your comments. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we didn't really even have cable. Like we had cable for like a few years, but then like we didn't have cable at all. We didn't have internet until I went to college. Like didn't have a cell phone until high school. And I needed it because I went on a school trip.
Yeah. What's happening, Lily? Okay. spilled all her food on the floor, and now she's walking around going, "I'm hungry," and I'm like, just eat the food that you've. Not dirty,
I
right?
might be done sprinting for tonight because my parents just went to bed and we're waking up at really early. Well, not super early, but like at like 6 because I'm trying to go car shopping tomorrow. So
Ooh, that's fun. You know what kind of car you're gonna get?
I do like Chevy Cruises, but there's one that was the exact same as my car, and it's like a coral pink color. Actually, it's very, very similar to the cover of this book. And it's the
They're
same
like
as my
almost
old
like a
car
pinky.
was. So I'm like, it's still available. And honestly, like prices of cars have gone like way up. So it's one of the cheapest and it has like the least amount of miles that I could find. So
So is it second hand? Are you going second hand?
yeah, new cars are like way too much money.
Yeah, everything here has gone crazy expensive. And it's
Yeah,
just
prices
like,
on used cars have doubled since I bought my car used like 7 years ago. Like, come on.
yeah, well, like we had to get another car um at Christmas time because my husband hit a kangaroo and totaled the car, and we thankfully had insurance. But we ended up getting more back for that car than what we bought for it just because the prices of cars had gone up. Um, which was really good for us, but like it also meant that like all of the cars had gone up a lot. Um, but yeah, and like one of my friends, she has had to move house, like because she was renting, because the landlord is trying to put up her rent by $300 a week, like in one
That's a lot.
jump.
Yeah.
So it was going to go from 450 or something like that to like 700, 750 a week.
Wow.
And she was like,
Yeah,
I
that's a lot.
can't afford that.
Yeah.
So yeah, rent's really expensive here. It's like
Don't worry, Alicia. I'll stay away from the antiques. I've been trying. This one's 2018, which is still, I mean, honestly one of the more newer ones out there now. Like there's really like there's a ton of used cars, but like so many of them have over 100,000 miles, and I'm like they're already almost dead. Like I don't want
yeah,
a car that has that many miles on it.
not when it'll cost you so much. Like if it was cheaper,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be that bad because like if you had it for a couple of years and then it died, it's not like you've spent all this money, but they're just still so expensive even at that mileage.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost got as much as what I paid for my car when it got totaled. So that's nice.
Yeah. Yep. It can be helpful to have the insurance even if it's expensive. Oh, I got eyelash in my eye. So what were your final thoughts on Authentically Izzy? Should I read it?
Well, I've only read 47 pages, but I'm liking it so far. It's funny. It's cute. It's got all those it has even classic literary references in it too. So I think you would enjoy it.
This has a bunch of references to the 80s. So for you guys that like the 80s,
I forgot that had a lot of 80s.
yeah. I feel like I need to rewatch the movie because my husband and I saw it in the movies because he really wanted to watch it. And I remember it being really, really good. So I feel like when I finish this, I should rewatch the movie and see how it compares, see what I like better. Very occasionally, I do find a movie that does it better than the book, but it's very occasional. I a really bad book to movie adaptation though is the book Annihilation. It's a sci-fi, and there is a movie adaptation that has Natalie Portman in it. So I thought it would be really good, and it is like worlds different. Like not at all. Like the first like 5 minutes is like the same, and then the rest of it, it's just a completely different like story basically.
Yeah,
And I
that
hated
happens.
it. The book was way better, and I was like, you had such a good opportunity to make this book really well, and it just was not. It was not good. And like the movie ended up being a flop when it came out as well. Just probably because everyone had all these expectations and they were
Yeah.
nowhere near. But
Yeah, there's one book to movie that I really love the movie. It's called Somewhere in Time. It's a travel romance movie that was made. Yeah, it's probably made in 1979, I think. Beautiful movie. Love the music. I love the romance, and it's one of my favorite movies. I read the book. It was so bad. I'm like,
yeah,
this is so terrible. Like, I could not believe the amount of language in the book, like especially like written like in like this probably the 60s or early 70s, and just the main character was like so awful and terrible. Like, I didn't like him. I'm like, what is this? I'll just stick with the movie.
fair enough. Yeah, it's weird to me how like, because like you're all reading the same stuff. Like, how do you get such a different vision for it compared to
I'm
everybody
glad
else?
they
Like
did.
the director. I don't get it. It's so weird.
Celestia, have you seen that movie? There's very few people who I know have actually seen that movie.
I feel like
It
it
is
sounds
depressing.
familiar, but I don't know if I've actually seen it.
It's so good.
Sounds familiar.
But it is sad. It is very sad. Oh, you hated it. Well, I did get to
I
go
do.
to where it's set. I got to go to that hotel that's in the movie, and I loved it. It was great.
I like your little teapots behind you on the shelf that look like little houses.
Those are my mom's.
They're super cute. I like them.
Yeah, nothing of mine in the kitchen. There's like a little ducky over there, but you can't see it.
Well, you've got your mugs in there, don't you? We just can't see them,
Up
obviously.
in the cupboard. Oh, that's mine. That little Mickey.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Probably
Bye.
Mickey
Bye.
right there.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Saying goodbye. Is it time to go? It's my bedtime too, because I gotta go to bed. So,
Say
I
good
guess
night,
I'll go ahead.
Katie.
Good night. I guess I'll go ahead and say a quick prayer before we leave. And thank you for everyone
That's okay.
tuning in and joining us for Reading Sprint. So, dear Lord, thank you for just having a good time together with book friends, Lord God. Thank you for blessing us with such an awesome community of like minded people, Lord God, who love books and love you, Lord. And I just thank you, Lord God. And I just pray, Lord God, that you will fill our week with blessings, Lord God, and just help us with decisions that we make each day in our lives, Lord God. And thank you for a great time and great books, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Man.
Good night, everyone. Bye, Willow. Bye, Sam.
Thank you. Oh, now she doesn't want to go.
Aw.
Bye.